Why is it so
Dibble in here? Yeah. Dibble, yes.
I'm starting to hear a lot of stuff. There's apparently Christmas spectacular season on. Yeah. I like so much. A lot. I just heard
How do you get like that?
oh, it's not a filter. It's not really it's filtered. I'll try it.
I already tried. That's an error.
Yeah, the error is not filtered. For him, it's not his works. Ours doesn't work.
Yep. What's the minute, you guys?
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome. So glad that you're here. My name is Rob Zook. I'm the principal here at Concord Junior High. It's so nice to see smiling faces, young and old, adults. I appreciate you coming as well. Here's where we're at. We are very excited to be hosting this year. This is our first year that we're hosting the HSDL. And so we have a lot on tap today, a lot of activities. I want you to have fun. I want you to experiment. I want you to be creative. But I do want to say before we get started, I want to recognize two people that are very important to this whole event happening. And that is Kendra Devine and Matt Gerlecki. We can give them a hand real quick. These two, Matt and Kendra, are actually our TIS, which is our support system for our technology integration specialists. They are the key people why this is happening. So for months, they've been planning, organizing, creating registration forms, the whole bit, getting teachers to spend their time with us today. So without them, this wouldn't be happening. So I'm very appreciative of what they have done. I'd also like to recognize a couple other folks. Mr. Trout is our superintendent up at the top. Beside Mr. Trout, we have our assistant superintendent, Mr. Tim Tahara. Corporation technology guy right there, who has all the answers, Mr. Kevin Edwards. Two more people I'd like to introduce. We have our curriculum instruction folks for elementary and secondary. And this is Renee Kopenauer and Mr. Thank you. I think I'm going to turn it over to Kendra Devine, but again, thank you so much for coming on. It's a great day here at Concord.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. We wanted to also extend thanks to some sponsors who helped make this happen. So as you walked in, you got a very nice bag from Pear Deck, and we owe a lot to Pear Deck. And Asmaa is here from Pear Deck today, so we want to thank Pear Deck in particular. But we also wanted to extend thanks to Text Help, Flipgrid, and Cami and Ed Puzzle for also allowing some of these things to happen as well. But most importantly, we would like to thank Michelle Green right here in the middle. She is part of your Indiana Department of E-Learning and helped Matt and I in putting this together today. So this would not have happened without her, without the entire Concord Junior High staff allowing this to happen here in their building, and also without you guys. Many of you are presenters. We're really excited. We're really excited for Riley Ambassador presenters and Asmaa, who you're going to be introduced here to in a little bit, and all of our Concord people. So welcome to Concord Community Schools, and we're really excited for our day.
And again, I'm Matthew Jalecki, and before I introduce our keynote, I'm just going to make a few reminders for all of you. Okay, yes, the Wi-Fi, it looks like everybody's on, but it is hashtag, so it is hashtag, it is case sensitive. If you go to this shortened link or around the building, you'll see QR codes that you can scan if you want to get it up on your phone. And it will take you to this slideshow that has all the schedule. And the schedule here in the slideshow is interactive. So if you click on any one of these, it will take you to a specific slide that will give you a description of what the session is. All of those descriptions are outside the doors where the sessions are being held. As you came in, door 12, where you registered, there will be sessions in this room. Just down the hallway, if you go left or right, basically on the other side of here on the main floor, there are sessions there. Upstairs, there are 2 locations where we'll have sessions, and that's where we'll have lunch. So there's some logistics for you. Now I guess a challenge for you before I introduce our wonderful keynote. I was trying to think about something good to say, and the theme, as you see on these nice pink t-shirts, is empower. And Kendra and I, as we talked about coming up with this, we want to empower students, empower students. And so what does that mean for something for you today? And so I thought about it and I said, well, my superpower, which I like to think of it is, I'm not scared to ask for anything. And anybody that knows me, and that's why I heard those humor up there at the top from our administrators, they know I'm not scared to ask for anything. So I'm encouraging you today, especially the people that are coming to visit us, ask. Ask Asmaa when you're in her session. When you're in the Riley Ambassador session or any of our Concord sessions or any of our Concord administrators, teachers, people walking around, Mr. Zook, ask them. Okay, don't be scared to go, I got this question, I really would like to know, and don't ask it. Believe me, ask it today. So if I can empower you out of the gate, ask them. Any session. There's no idea that's too small or too big. So, hey, how did you get that to work? Can you help me with that? Please ask. And ask each other. Say hello. Make new friends today. So we hope. Okay? Now I'm going to turn it over to our fabulous keynote. Now, it doesn't matter how long I practice, but it doesn't matter. So, it doesn't matter. Okay? Asmaa, and I'll let her say her last name when she gets up here because it doesn't matter. I'm going to get it wrong. Okay? She is a fantastic software developer from Pear Deck. And I'm going to keep the introduction short because she's going to be fantastic. Okay? She has a computer science degree and has worked at a couple different companies and now settled at Pear Deck, which you will get to see demonstrated if you decide to come to session 1 or 2 of hers. Many of our staff use it here. We absolutely love it. We love it. Pear Deck was honored, actually. Google Slides, some of you may know, just introduced add-ons, and there were only 5 companies pretty much worldwide that were offered the opportunity to be the first ones that Google rolled out with Google Slides to have add-ons, and Pear Deck was one of them. So without further ado, it's Asmaa.
Good morning. Can you guys all hear me fine? Yes. All right, my name is Asmaa Elkeurti. That's how you say my last name. Like Matt said in his very warm introduction, I write code for Pear Deck. And then, has anybody yet to join the presentation? You can go to peardeck.com/join and then enter in the 5 letters on the screen, NPREX. All right, so I've got 70 students joined, so I'm going to move forward. when I decided to go to college for computer science, I thought that would guarantee a career without much public speaking, because that's the stereotype about engineers, right? But here I am, and I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so thankful that I was invited, and that I get to share my story with all of you guys. So first question, how many people here have used Pear Deck before? Okay, you can respond to the slide too, but I appreciate the raised hands. All right, so it seems like, all right, we've got a decent mix. Awesome. So next question. What qualities do you think make a software developer good at their job? What kind of skills do you think they would need to employ in their career to be successful? All right, let's look at some of the responses we have coming in. Get them on the page. Ingenuity, intelligence, who writes code, who's good at it. Nice, these are great answers. In education and technology, and maybe in engineering. Confidence is always important. Awesome. So how many of you guys here could envision a career in code? Anybody? All right, so we've got an even split, it seems. About half of you grow up to become software developers, and some people don't really see it for themselves. Well, when I was your age, up until my first year of college, I did not envision myself as a software developer. I actually decided to go to the University of Iowa because I got a scholarship in photojournalism. So somehow I went from a field that requires at least some artistic ability and a whole lot of communication and writing to a career in engineering. But those two fields have been so helpful in my job. And there are a lot of ways in which I don't fit the stereotype of a typical software developer. And that's part of the reason I get to see myself in this role. For one, I don't live in Silicon Valley. I live and work in Iowa City. I consider myself to be an extrovert. I really like talking to people. I like working on projects that are collaborative. And I do really enjoy doing things that require a lot of creativity. I was able to use a little bit of all of those skills when I was working on Flashcard Factory, which is the first project that I had at Pear Deck that I got to see from start to finish. We had to do a lot of project planning, so I worked with my team to set deadlines, communicate with other teams that were involved. We did a lot of project brainstorming. So what Flashcard Factory does is it takes vocabulary and tries to make it fun and interactive and engage students in an activity that a lot of us don't remember being too fun. So that required a lot of creativity. I also had to do a lot of designing and giving design feedback. I tried actually making an interface and sketching it out, and I don't know if it's as good as the graphic designer on our teams, but it was really interesting to be able to do that and to kind of get that perspective on the project. And I also got to debut the project last summer at a conference called History, which is actually where I met Kendra and Matt. And that's how I got to be here today. So I've been employing that communication that I learned in my journalism background pretty regularly at my job. So next slide. So being a good software developer is more than being a good coder. It's being a good coder part of my job requirement. Really good product comes from a good team. And a good team can communicate openly with each other and give each other respect and empathy, and really be able to collaborate with emotional safety. And Google actually dedicated years of research and millions of dollars into trying to define the perfect team. They called this project Project Aristotle, and in studying their own employees for about 5 years, they found that the most productive teams, the most successful and effective ones, were teams in which their employees communicate openly and with empathy, and teams in which the members felt a lot of emotional safety. So they outperformed other teams which had individual members that were just as skilled, if not more so. So what they found was that a good, harmonious team that can communicate with empathy was more important than a team of highly skilled individuals that didn't have that same kind of harmony and emotional safety. So at Pear Deck, it's crucial that we treat our teammates with respect and exhibit empathy for each other and our ideas so that we can express ourselves as creatively as possible without fear of judgment. But we also need to extend that empathy to the end user. And for Pear Deck, the end user are teachers and students that are interacting with the presentations. And so we spend a lot of time trying to figure out how we can cater to our educators. And we bring in teachers to the office to talk to them all the time. We've been in classrooms to try to figure out how teachers use a product. Because there's no point in creating something if people don't like it, and if it's not helpful to teachers. So understanding the way that somebody uses a tool is crucial to making that tool better. I have a question for everybody. Who wants to try to take a stab at defining diversity? It's kind of a buzzword that's been floating around recently. But I want to know what you guys think of when you think of diversity. So I'll let you guys work on that for a moment. What 63 responses? A mix of different people with different characteristics is awesome. These are all really, really great definitions. And that kind of brings us to my next point that I want to make about software development. So, like I said, understanding the way that somebody uses a tool is crucial to making it better. And the way that people use software is determined by a whole bunch of different factors that are really hard to pinpoint. That can be their age, where they live, where they come from, what they do for a living. And like I said, it can be really hard to pinpoint the cause and effect of those traits. Therefore, it's really important to have a variety of people on your team developing the tool, because the more people you have, the more likely they can relate to each of the different users that you're catering to. The more perspectives that come into work on a project, the more people and experiences from the real world that will be reflected on that team. And so like you guys said, the variety of perspective and background is what we call diversity. A person's background will affect the kind of ideas that they can bring to the table. The more ideas that you have to choose from that vary, the more likely you are to be able to pick the right idea. So the more creative a team can be, the higher the likelihood that the product will be great. So this is an example of kind of like a mental map of people who can contribute, who can think about a problem from a variety of different perspectives. So diversity also impacts success in tangible ways, and it can result in a competitive business. The more diversity that a company has, the more successful a company is. A company called McKinsey did some research and found that diverse companies are 35% more likely to make more money and outperform companies with lower rates of diversity. And this makes sense intuitively. Like we just discussed, the more angles that you can look at a problem from, the more solutions you'll come up with for that problem. And if we only had the same kinds of people with the exact same set of experiences building apps and websites, chances are a lot of great products would be missing from the world. Because not every problem impacts every single person, every type of person. And a lot of times, the best solutions for a problem come from people who have personally experienced it themselves. For example, if only people that drove cars were to develop apps, there'd probably be a lot of great tools that help people who take the subway or the bus or ride their bike to work, like me, that would be missing from the market. And Pear Deck is also a pretty great example of a company started by people with unique backgrounds that compared to other tech leaders. So we were founded by a group of teachers, actually, and they understood the problems that people in classroom face because they had been there themselves. They understood the challenges of engaging your students and creating a discussion-based classroom. This allowed them to develop tools a little bit more effectively than somebody who had never been in a classroom and doesn't know the challenges that teachers and students face. So there's another kind of example of somebody who doesn't quite fit the mold of a computer maker that went on to completely change the tech industry and the way that products are developed. So I'm sure everybody here has heard of Steve Jobs, who created Apple, along with Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayne. So Steve Jobs went to school to study poetry and literature and science and calligraphy. He did not go to school to study computers, and yet he went on to found a wildly successful computer company that was able to hold their own against Microsoft. Microsoft at that time was a tech giant. They were a household name. So they had years of head start against Apple. And a lot of people attribute the success to Apple, not to Steve Jobs' technical ability, but his creativity. And he also pushed his engineers and designers to create computers from the perspective of the user. He pushed them to be empathetic and to create user-driven designs so that the interfaces they put out there were intuitive and easy to understand. They didn't require instruction manuals or how-to videos. People just understood it. And that's the way, and that revolutionized the way that people in Silicon Valley actually created software. For a long time, the goal was just to create really powerful computers. And after Steve Jobs showed everybody that intuitive design can create success even in the tech world, people started following that model and that train of thought. And if Steve Jobs had been discouraged from entering tech because he felt that he wasn't enough of an engineer or a tech person or a left brain sort of guy, then we wouldn't have those changes that have really changed the world for the better. And because he went forth into that field, despite the stereotypes associated with creativity in tech, we now have so many more amazing apps. So are there any questions that you guys have for me so far? Shout them out or respond to the slide. Oh.
Okay, so like when your database has like how much, what percent of your data actually totally.
So it varies depending on where in the project I am or where I am on a problem. But a majority of my day I spend coding. But I often code with a partner. We do a lot of pair programming at Pear Deck. And there are times when I run into a problem that I need to bring in somebody else just so I can bounce ideas off of them, or we might whiteboard a solution together. So there's a lot of collaboration even when I am coding. Any questions? So I joined Pear Deck in July of 2016. That was right around the time that we released Student Paste. Just a desk job. Yeah, for the most part I am at my desk. There are occasions when I'm walking around and talking to people. We've got a gigantic rolling whiteboard that we annoy everybody else in the office with. So that allows us to be a little bit more mobile. So I got a computer science degree, and I also actually got my minor in chemistry too. So we're working on the Google Slides add-on. We're working on improving that and also making some student responses a little bit more fun for you guys. What is my favorite coding website? That's a good question. Has anybody here ever heard of CodePen? Or it's kind of a fiddle that you can put code into and test it out before you have to actually run it on your computer. And has anybody here ever done codeacademy.com? Sometimes I'll use that when I want to kind of get started with the language, so that can be pretty cool. So on that note, I really love writing code. When I write code, I feel like I'm trying to piece together the pieces of a puzzle, or like I'm playing a really intricate game with a lot of little wins along the way. And you see those wins instantaneously, and that instant gratification feels awesome. There are hiccups along the way with myself and the other engineers, and like I said before, we'll often bounce ideas off of each other, collaborate on a problem, whiteboard our solutions. So there's a lot of communication that's involved in my job. And the moments that you can break through those hiccups or the roadblocks that you encounter, they feel so triumphant, especially if you're working together or helping another person solve their problem. And my job challenges me daily. I feel like the gears in my brain are just constantly working and turning and trying to figure out really complicated problems. And I'm so grateful for that. So how many people here have written code before? And what languages have you used? So I also write code in JavaScript. That's primarily what we use at Pear Deck. Scratch, Java, nice. So besides HTML and CSS, Python was the first language that I used. Scratch. Nice. You guys, a lot of you guys have a head start. When I was in high school, I'd only ever played with template design for my blog. So you guys are in a good position. So while programming is always really fun for me, and it's my favorite part of my job, it's never the ultimate goal for Pear Deck. Pear Deck's mission is not to create great software, but to create a great experience for teachers and students. And we try to do this by writing reliable, fast, performance software, of course, but we also do this by supporting our users with empathy and understanding, creating really exciting and informative marketing, and designing the product in a way that is intuitive for teachers. I go to work to solve problems that exist beyond my computer and beyond my internet browser, And these problems are touching real people who are faced with real problems. And these problems include educating, the next generations of people all over the globe. The ultimate end goal of what I do is to help teachers deliver powerful learning moments to their students by engaging them with interactive slides. Code is just the tool that I use to do this. So there's a great quote that I use a lot when I talk to people about my job that says, computer science is as much about computers as astronomy is about telescopes. Computer scientists use computers as a tool for problem solving in the same way astronomers use telescopes to study stars. They're not studying telescopes. The telescopes just facilitate their work. Of course, some computer scientists do go to work to make computers better. That was what I did at my second internship at Intel. But most computer scientists work in music or politics, fashion, medicine, sports. I could go on, but my point is that almost every single industry out there needs coders and tech enthusiasts. I think it would be rare to find a job that didn't need somebody that was technically skilled. I, myself, am really passionate about education because I believe that it's one of the most empowering things that anybody can possess. I was raised in a household in which I was always told that good education can really take me far. And so being able to give back to that industry has been so empowering for me. The technology that engineers are creating at Pear Deck exists to help facilitate good education and to help engage students and even the playing field for everybody. It's there to solve problems that real teachers face. And in tech, we need all kinds of people with different life experiences and skills and interests in order to help the tech industry really reach its potentials. There are skills that I have that I never thought would be useful in my job, but that they've proved to help me be successful in writing good code, and creating a good product, and collaborating with my team. Skills like communication, empathy, and creativity, I think, are skills that every single field needs. But today, being able to code well, is also a skill that almost every field needs. So if you take away only one point from today, I hope it's this. The tech world needs all kinds of people with all kinds of interests, and that is what I think diversity means. And nobody should let a label prevent themselves from going into software development. That's pretty much what I almost did. And switching to a career in engineering is the best decision I made. It still allows me to be creative and to be empathetic and communicate with people and collaborate, which are all things I love to do. And it also has helped me harness a very, very powerful tool to do a whole number of things. Right? Any last questions for me? All right, thank you guys so much for your time.
Can you hear me up there? Dibble, we're good. You're already giving me the 5 minutes? I haven't even started yet, Dibble. All right. My students know me well. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead to the schedule. We're going to take, I don't know, we'll give you about 3-4 minutes here. Make sure you're on Wi-Fi. Take a look at the schedule. Go through the slides. Again, one of the rooms while you're getting there is here. Okay, so from here, all those links should take you again to another spot in the slideshow. Okay, and they'll give you a description. So our first column is here, so Pear Deck's going to stay here. So if you'd like to either hear more about Pear Deck, and she has several more interactive pieces where she's going to explain a little bit more in detail about Pear Deck in particular. And then there's the rest of our student sessions. Again, pretty much as you go back, the stairs will take you upstairs. There are 2 rooms that we're using up there that there will be sessions in. This first session only, the Wii video is in our junior high school TV studio, which is on the main floor down this hallway. And then all the maker spaces are going to be held in the media center. Okay, so in the media center. So actually, while you all are looking, taking a minute, our presenters, so I'm going to give you a chance to sneak out. So Mr. Stevens, you can take yours and go to where you're going to be at. If Mrs. Eisenbarger would like to take her group, we'll get you out of here. Give you guys a chance to get set up. Okay, Mr. Tompkins and the SketchUp crew, you can head on out. Mr. McComish, if you want to go, that'll give you a brief chance to catch your breath. Okay, and then again, the link for the maps, all the yellow highlighted spots, and there's an upstairs and downstairs, will get you to where you need to go. All right, some other logistics. We're going to roll one of these tables over here. Feel free to grab some chocolate, some Starburst, whatever on your way out, no matter which door you go. We know you have a sweet Pear Deck bag to put it in, so go ahead and grab some. We have water in all the rooms, so the nice water bottles that you have, you can fill those here if you want, but all the rooms as you go have water in them. There's drinking fountains everywhere. The upstairs and downstairs look very similar, so there's restrooms basically at each corridor, okay, and they're twins, so there's boys and girls restrooms at the end of each corridor, in the middle of the building. Any logistics questions?
Guys, I'm making my own copy.
You can kill the live stream.